Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Castle of Spirits True Ghost Stories podcast, where I usually start off every single episode by smacking the microphone as hard as I can with the only good hand I have, trying desperately to break things and in my body and out of my body.
Anyway, I'm the Ghost Keeper, Jane.
Oh, hi, I'm the Ghost Keeper, Vince, and together we are the Ghost Keepers.
We are the Ghost Keepers, yeah.
Of the Castle of Spirits.
Vince, I was thinking it was about time that we do something a little different tonight.
You want me to take off my jacket?
I don't want you to take off any of your clothing. No.
I'm wearing my Freddy Krueger. No, yeah. My Freddy Krueger t-shirt that says "Follow Your Dreams." Anyway, what do you think? What are we going to do that's special tonight?
Well, I was thinking that I would tell some true, or apparently true, paranormal stories that aren't from our website. You know, a little theme, like.
You got some theme ideas?
I do.
Like theme song?
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, what does that mean?
We have a new theme song already.
I know, we already talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it's time.
Quote
for
time.
you to, take a back seat to this conversation.
Buckle up into the back seat.
Buckle up in the back seat.
That could be misconstrued.
I think usually back seat shenanigans involve unbuckling.
That's true. I don't know. I never had that kind of experience. And you know that better than I do.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. Let's just keep going.
Wow.
Let's go back to the show.
Open mouth, insert foot, huh? Yeah. So
you've got an idea to do a special theme for tonight's show.
Yeah, I'm getting to that.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So tonight I thought I would tell you 2 stories about time anomalies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like this. I like this already. I love time anomalies, time glitches.
Yeah.
Travel, time
glitches,
travel.
loops,
Okay.
intersections. I don't know. We can talk through our theories.
Now, she has kept this from me until this very moment, so I'm rather excited about this. I knew there was something special happening tonight, and I'm eager to hear it unfold.
Yeah.
So shall we?
And I know these stories, both of them, you particularly will enjoy because I know that you like good road stories, driving stories.
I love a good road story. I love a good road song, road album, road experiences.
So these both take place on the road.
Get out of town. You know, Jack Kerouac's birthday was just the other day.
Was it?
I think.
Congratulations.
Well, I mean, he was just a hero of mine. He wrote On the Road.
I know, but I don't think he experienced any time glitches, did he?
Not that he ever wrote about, but it would have been pretty badastical if he had, because it would have combined everything I love about Jack Kerouac, beat culture, and Twilight Zone-y type stuff. So it'd be like turning. They kind of looked alike. Jack Kerouac and Rod Serling. You could mash them into one person, and you'd have a hell of an experience.
Speaking of Rod Serling, I would say that at least the first story I'm going to tell you could straight up have been written by Rod Serling.
Okay, I'm all ears.
All right, are we ready?
Yep.
You want to get started?
Let's do it.
Okay. Hello to everyone who's in chat for our live broadcast on YouTube. And as a reminder, if you're listening to the podcast episode, if you want to come hang out with us on Saturday nights on YouTube, we do this live and we'd love to have you. Okay. So now I need you to bear with me. Not you, Vince. You know how I roll.
I've been bearing with you for 25 years.
It's a fact. But audience members, I am not good at planning, and it's part of my it's part of my ADHD. It really is. So I have a couple of websites up where there's some specifics, but other than that, I am flying off the top of my head here. I know the information. So
she's free fallen. That's a clean version. Anyway,
Okay.
Go right ahead.
So This first story I'm going to tell you is about a time loop. So,
Ooh.
this happened in 2007. A woman named Maria and a couple of her siblings, as well as a couple of their cousins, they were on a road trip. They had been in Florida for a funeral, their uncle's funeral. Okay. And they're driving home. They lived somewhere in Georgia. And so they're driving home from this funeral in Florida. And they're just kind of having a good time, you know, chatting, laughing about old times, you know, whatever. And at some point they decide, okay, we got to pee. Maria, the driver, she's like, I got to go. So they are on highway. Sorry, this is one of the things I have to look at. Highway 3. Whoops. It's over here.
And you said they're traveling through Georgia?
Yes. Okay. It's State Road 376.
Okay.
So they get off of the freeway, and that's when they're on 376 after they get off of the freeway. Mm-hmm. And there's no sign that says there's a gas station anywhere, but they figure there's an exit here. There's going to be something, right? So they get off and they're driving, and they're in a town called Valdosta, Georgia. And so this whole story has become known as the Valdosta Time Loop. So they are driving down the street looking for anything, and it's just like woods, and there's nothing out here. Eventually, after a couple of miles, they come upon a gas station off of the side of the road. It's old, like it looks like it's from another era. Really old gas pumps. And the place is just run down looking. But, you know, Maria,
but that's not necessarily unusual, right? Like in old towns.
I would imagine,
like
a rural Georgia.
Yeah.
It probably was like, ooh, this place is old, but it wasn't like, what is this?
A little retro.
Yeah. So Maria hops out of the car and she just like books it into the service station to go to the bathroom. She just goes straight in, doesn't look at anybody or anything. So her travel mates get out of the car and they go into the service center also. And because they decide they're going to use the bathroom too. So while Maria's in the bathroom, her cousin, I think, is kind of looking around the service station. Mm-hmm. They notice that like there's one light in the middle of the room and it's like flickering constantly. The shelves are dusty and dirty. Maria said that when she was out of the bathroom, she was looking to see if there was anything to drink, but they didn't really have much. They had like some Coke, but not much of anything else. But she said that like the glass was so dirty that she didn't even want to touch anything. And all of the snacks and things that were on the shelf were like, the packaging looked old, outdated, dusty, you know.
So at this point, are they thinking that they wandered into like some closed gas station?
Well,
like shut down like for years?
You could wonder that, except while Maria's while someone else is in the bathroom, Maria is out looking at the things, getting kind of grossed out, like, what the hell kind of place is this? She looks at her cousin, and her cousin is just like staring straight ahead with kind of this look on their face, like, what am I seeing? So she looks, and her cousin is looking at the man behind the counter. He's an older man. He's tall, very skinny. She said he was like skeletal. Gray hair, balding, beard, these big long beard.
I'm not skeletal though.
You're pretty close. Dirty old overalls and like a white t-shirt that's all stained. And he's standing there and he's just staring straight ahead at Maria and her cousin, not moving a muscle, nothing. Like she said, she didn't see him blink or move or anything. And he was just standing there like he looked kind of surprised.
Oh, so he's not like a ghost or something? That's the first thing I would think of.
I know, right? So everybody's done in the bathroom. They're all kind of freaked out by this place at this point. So they just go running out and they're like, we're out. So they get in the car and peel out and go back down the highway in the same direction that they came from. So they're driving and they're like, what was that? That was so weird. And it's just a long road. Like there's turns off of it, but you don't have to turn. You don't have to make any decisions, right? It's just a long straight road. And they're looking for the entrance back onto the freeway. So they're driving and they're like, where is the entrance to the freeway? And all of a sudden they see that there's some lights up ahead. So they keep driving. They get to these lights up ahead. And what do you think it is?
No.
It's the same gas station.
Shut up. Okay, so they...
On the same side of the road.
They looped around somehow.
Yeah, but they're just going down this... It's a relatively straight, long road. I watched a YouTube video. All of the places I got the information for both of these stories will be linked in the show notes and video description. And I watched a video where a guy and his wife were going out looking for this place to see if they could have the same experience. And they didn't. Spoiler alert. But it did give you an idea of what the road was like. And it's very like densely grown on the sides, bushes and weeds and
like trees
and yeah. And there was really nothing there. There were 2 gas stations, but they were they did not follow this description, although they could have been built on the same piece of land for all I know. So anyway, it's the same gas station. They pull up, they look. The man is now standing at the window staring out at them.
So it is the same gas station.
It's the same
it's not
gas
another
station.
Gas station that looks like the one that they just
same
left.
one.
Oh, wow.
And he's standing there looking out the window right at them with that same kind of shocked but completely still expression on his face. And so, of course, they're freaked out, as you do, right?
Yeah.
So they blast off down the road again. Now they're like freaking out. And they're driving. And I think the first time it was like 20 minutes, that they were driving looking for the on-ramp. It didn't take 20 minutes to get to this gas station when they got off the highway. But 20 minutes took them right back to the gas station.
Usually what you do in a situation like that is go to a gas station and ask for directions. Or, this is what year?
This is 2007.
Okay, so like no smartphones and like...
Right,
okay.
yeah. Oh, and by the way, when you think you've heard the weird parts of both of these stories, there's more. So they're like, out of there. We are going to find this freeway entrance. So they take off again. And they're driving, and they're driving, and they're driving. And pretty soon, on the side of the road, they see the same gas station. Only this time, it's all boarded up and abandoned, and there's no lights on. There's nobody there. It's clear that this place has not been in operation for a very long time.
What?
Very long time.
And they're sure this is the same gas station?
Same one.
Okay.
So obviously they're like losing their minds. So they
Or they lost them already.
right. So they keep trucking down the road. Almost immediately, they find the on-ramp to the highway. And Vince is messing with his microphone, so it's going to go bump, bump, bump.
Sorry, guys. Forgive me for just 1 second while I...
Yeah, you're going to have to unscrew the bottom thing. You can't force that back on.
Okay.
You know what? Why don't you just hold your microphone tonight?
You know, we've got
Just gonna
technical
do that.
difficulties here tonight because I've only got one hand.
And one brain. Okay.
One hand and a half a brain between the other and that. So I'm going to go ahead and just hold my microphone just like they do, like the hipsters all do. And hopefully we won't have too much interference.
Sandra in chat said that she saw one of these about a diner. That's interesting. I'd like to hear more about that. So,
The one about the okay, go ahead.
anyway,
I know.
so the gas station is abandoned. They go screaming off down the road yet again, and almost immediately, just after a couple of minutes, they see the freeway on-ramp going in the same direction they have been going the whole time. So they get on the freeway. All's right with the world. They go home. Okay? They talk about this among themselves. Nobody else really believes them. They always try and figure out what happened. Like, what was this weird experience that we had? And then it gets weirder.
It can't get any weirder than that. Mm-hmm. Do they? Okay, I have a guess.
Okay.
When they get back, it's like 2 days before they left, like some weird time loop.
That would be really good. Okay. So
No, that's not it. Okay, go ahead.
years later, there is a woman named, she's a TikToker. I believe her TikTok name is Ashley Inc. Let me see. Yeah. ASHLEEINC. Ashley Inc. So she does a podcast. I can't remember what it's called. What is it called?
The Ashley Inc. podcast.
Anyway, it's going to be linked in the... She's got YouTube videos where she goes over all of this. And it's pretty in-depth. So she runs a podcast and does these TikTok videos about, mysteries and things like that. So Maria, this woman Maria, contacts her and says, I've got a story, because that's what Ashley's podcast is like. People submit their stories, much like ours. Please submit your stories. So Maria tells her story that I just told you. And Ashley does like this deep dive on it. She goes onto YouTube. She makes some long videos. She interviews Maria. I guess they did some TikTok live stuff. And that video gets kind of popular because obviously it's a wild story. Then they start getting flooded with emails about, oh, I know that gas station. I saw that too. Blah, 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 blah. Like
Really?
Thousands of emails. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But they get one other email where this guy who he wants to remain anonymous. So they're only calling him John Doe. So I'm just going to call him John. So John emails and he says, oh, that was my father that they saw. He worked at the gas station in 1984. And that's exactly how he dressed. That's exactly what he looked like. And he says, I remember that day. So here's where it gets really weird. So John's dad had substance abuse problems. He would get clean and he would relapse. He had issues with drugs and alcohol both. And so he looked older than he was. He just looked really run down, really very, very skinny, things like that. So one night, John's dad comes home from work and he tells John's mother, I saw time travelers today.
Really? And this is in 1984.
1984.
Okay.
So John's a kid, and his dad comes in and tells them, I saw time travelers today, and their cars were strange, their clothes were strange, their hair was strange, whatever. They were strange, and they were from the future. How he knew they were from the future, I don't know. Maybe it was just because their car from 2007 probably looked like a little bit of a spaceship to somebody in 1984. So his mom...
Yeah, certainly things like clothing and hairstyles, I don't think that would necessarily indicate you're a time traveler. But
in 1984, though, like now we live in a society where
nowadays,
really anything goes. Style, all of those things. Cars look futuristic and whatever. And somebody could walk into your place of business dressed like they're in the 50s, and you wouldn't really bat an eye. I mean, you'd notice it, and you'd be like, that's cool, but you wouldn't be like, that's weird.
Yeah, it's like an amalgamation of all the different
exactly.
eras.
But in the 80s, it was not like that.
Okay.
And so anyway, John's father is like telling his wife and his kids that he saw time travelers. So his wife is positive this means he has relapsed. He's back on drugs. She gets angry. She kicks him out. John doesn't see his father or speak to his father for 16 years.
Oh my God, that's a tragedy.
It is. And yeah. So John's mother gets remarried, and the kids grow up and whatever. And when John has his first kid, he decides he wants his father back in his life. His father has reached out to him a few times, but he really just kind of cut him off, So he reconnects with his father, and, one day he asks him, why did you relapse when you did? And he tells him, I did not relapse. He says, I saw time travelers that day. And he tells him all about it, and, just kind of rehashes the story. And he is for sure, I saw this. I was not on drugs. This happened. And so, he decides, okay, well, I guess he believes what he's saying. And, so John's daughter sees the TikTok, and he had told his daughters the story before, but they just thought it was one of Grandpa's weird old stories.
So now this is Grandpa being the gas station attendant.
Yes.
So the granddaughter, John's daughter, reached out to Heather?
Ashley.
No, yeah.
She sees the TikTok, and she sends it to John, and she's like, this sounds a lot like Grandpa's story. Mm-hmm. And so, long story short, John gets in contact, and he talks to, both Ashley and Maria, and sends a picture. There's a photo that is supposedly John's father. Let me see if I can find it real quick. We'll put it on. Excuse you.
That was not a ghost. That was our hellhound Freya snorting. If you did hear that, you probably didn't.
We'll put it on Instagram too.
Instagram and Facebook. Follow us there at Castle of Spirits.
Yeah.
As well as YouTube. Yep. No, again, that's not me. That is Hellhound Freya. She may have something to say. Should I put the microphone up to her?
No, because she'll just burp in the microphone again.
Oh, was that what that was?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it came from the other end.
I can't find the photo.
Okay, so forget the photo for now. This is a trippy story, though.
Yeah.
So already now 3 generations of people are verifying the experience that Maria and her friends had.
Mm-hmm.
So is it Maria only that came to the TikTok? Why do I keep wanting to call her Heather?
I don't know. Maria is the one who submitted the story to Ashley, and yeah.
Now, does she have corroborating witnesses coming and saying, yeah, I experienced this with Maria? Or
one of the people in the car with her will not talk about it. Another one, they still talk about it together and, try and figure out what it was. And, yeah. So, yeah. But that's the Valdosta Time Loop. So, but the thing is now Ashley and Maria are both getting inundated with these stories, people saying, oh yeah, I went there. It was weird. I bought some gum that I hadn't seen since the 60s. And another, like, the stories keep spinning out and they get a little bit weirder every time. Another story of a woman and her friend who happened to be gay went into the gas station, and the old guy looked at the guy who was gay, and he's like, it's not safe for your kind to be around here when the sun goes down. And I'm like,
wow.
I mean, so you got to wonder how many of these are actually true, because
I mean, that happens now anyway, so.
right. But the stories about the gas station, like, they're getting so many people emailing, oh yeah, I had an experience there, or I know of this place, whatever. But when you like Google it and search it out, because I've been following this story for months, and all of Ashley's videos came out less than a year ago. So this is not an old story. And when you Google Valdosta, Georgia, the only thing you get is the welcome center information or things about their high school football team and this one story, Maria's story. So I'm kind of calling BS on all of these other stories, because if that were happening to such a degree that all of these people who happen upon this one TikTok video know or experienced the same thing, it would be all over the internet.
Yeah.
And so I don't put any credence in these other stories. I do think that I'm not saying I full on believe Maria's story, but I am much more certain that something like that is possible than not.
So you believe the story?
I am.
I mean, it's
inclined to believe it.
I'm inclined to believe it because it's a great story.
Yeah.
You hear the story about them walking into this old gas station and the guy looking at like he's seeing a ghost. At first, I thought you were going to say that he was a ghost, and
right.
that maybe like his son contacts the podcast and says, "Hey, my father used to work there back in the 70s or 60s or whatever, and he died back then." Mm-hmm. But this is just as weird.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess it's some sort of not a time loop so much as
they're
time
calling it
slip.
But they're calling it a time loop because of the whole driving in one direction and coming back to it, driving again in that direction and coming back to it. So it is kind of looping in a way. But Maria said that they've been back through that area many times and have looked for it again and have never found it.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So there are two gas stations that are actually pretty close together. You can see them on the video that I was talking about, the man and his wife.
So did they actually show the gas station that Maria was supposedly stopped at?
No, because they don't know.
Oh.
Neither one of these gas stations match the description. One of them is clearly newer. The other one is it's older. To me, it looks like it was probably built in the 80s. It's possible that it's built on the same site as the other one, that they raised it and then, built a new one.
Right.
But nobody's really sure as far as I can find out.
It's entirely possible that we have some listeners in Georgia. Mm-hmm. And if somebody is listening or watching on YouTube and something about this story or Valdosta in general, reach out to us, because we'd love to be able to add to the story and maybe help piece a little bit more together.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. John's father did die about a year later after, kind of that getting back together and him saying, no, that happened. I saw that. He died about a year later.
Wow.
But yeah, but I think it's a little different than time travel. I think that it's, for me, what it feels like is like a folding over, like a folding of the time.
Yeah.
Good talk.
No, I mean, this just, I was staring off into space because it makes me think about all kinds of, I think we've talked about this before too. Mm-hmm. There are places in the world. I mean, at least I believe there are places in the world, and they're spoken of where, the veil between the worlds is thin. Whatever that means, though, some people think it means the veil between the living and the dead.
Yeah.
Some people could be the veil between 1984 and 2017.
Right, which would be like space-time.
Yeah.
If it just like wrinkles or,
if
folds back on itself somehow.
If the Earth was occupying the same space and time separated by 30 some odd years.
Yeah.
And something were to puncture that membrane, if I may be so bold as to use that term, it could cause some really squishy stuff, like people flopping into other timelines. And I mean, they're lucky they found their way out. Otherwise, they would have had to relive the 80s. But then again, of course, as bad as the 80s were, they weren't bad as today. So I've lived through both so far. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So, that's the Valdosta Time Loop. And that story is just eternally fascinating to me.
I'm surprised it's not something that was maybe birthed on No Sleep subreddit or some sort of a, some sort of a subreddit.
Right. No, yeah. I mean, I did see some things on Reddit, but they all came out after this. So I think it's just people kind of like, capitalizing on it, or it's starting a trend of sorts. So
yeah, it's a great story. So I think somebody may have wanted to sort of like take credit for it happening to them, and maybe it's kind of like playing the lottery. When you post a story on Reddit, you're rolling the dice and hoping that you'll be the lucky one to get a Netflix series, and then it doesn't happen to you, and then you end up being bitter. But I don't feel bitter anymore.
Can you tell which one of us submitted a story to No Sleep and got like no
sleep? No, man, I got some good stuff. I got some good feedback
and some good downvotes.
I think that it's
they just downvote you to upvote game. Others. Yeah,
it's a rigged game.
Downvoting one makes your one upvote for another two.
Well, anyway. So I've won awards. What have you won? Not you, them.
No, don't talk to our audience.
No, not them. I'm talking about
No Sleep.
Anyway.
Okay.
Go on.
Anyway, that's the Valdosta Time Loop. And if I hear anything else, I'll update you, because it is kind of like going on still, like the investigating and everything. I think Ashley and Maria have talked about going out there together to try and find it, and
that's cool. Now I have a paranormal would you rather for you.
Okay.
Do you want to play a game of paranormal would you rather?
Sure.
And when we say that, I'm not even entirely sure how entertaining something like this is, because it's almost like a thought experiment or something. And if you come to the thought experiment with, an empty head like me, it may prove not to be so exciting. But
it sloshes when he runs. Sorry, go ahead.
What part of me are you talking about? Good God. Anyway, so would you rather?
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather?
Yes.
Be lost in the past, puncture that membrane, go to that gas station, not find your way back to the highway because it hasn't been built yet, maybe, and have to live through the 1980s all over again.
Ooh.
However, maintaining a knowledge of things to come in the future so that you may or may not change them. Or work at a gas station and have a bunch of weirdos come in dressed like the future, and then, not being able to convince anybody of what you saw, and then being put in the loony bin for it or something.
Being put in the loony bin, man. What kind of options are these? I either have to live through everything all over again or go to the loony bin. Like, those are
that might
both
be this
really crappy options.
It kind of feels like the same thing.
I know. They're both bad options.
But the benefit of that is that you don't have to come back to the 2020s.
I'm just going to say pass.
Okay, pass.
Pass.
I would take going back in time and being stuck there. Because, could you imagine, for example, if you knew how to play guitar, if you could sing a little bit, if you hadn't
the next Elvis.
If you hadn't gone bald yet, you could be the next Kurt Cobain.
I didn't go bald. You did.
I'm talking about myself.
Oh, okay. You couldn't be the next Kurt Cobain.
Well, you could say, okay, look, I know of these things are trending in the near future. In the early 1990s, the kids are going to go crazy for something called grunge, right? And so you invent that style of music 2 full years before Kurt Cobain and company and all the other guys in Seattle who were doing the same thing created a new sound, right?
No.
But
that sounds like a lot of work. I just want to stay right here.
Or you could play, you could, if you had a sports almanac, you could always bet on things, but that's Biff Tannen did that in Back to the Future too. That's taken. So anyway, I don't know. Let's just not play this game anymore.
Okay.
Because I suck at it.
Well,
if anybody out there has any other paranormal would you rathers or time slip would you rathers, send them to us.
Do it. That way Vince doesn't have to make them up anymore because he's really not very good at it.
I'm really not.
Anyway, you said something interesting a couple of minutes ago about, time looping into the 80s like that and being stuck and not able to come back.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Sometimes you hear stories about the person's car was found. It was found here. There was nobody saw them. There was no sign of a struggle. There was no indication of any kind of foul play. The person just disappeared and they're never seen again, right? Like those things happen.
Yeah, they could. I guess they could be time slips. Somebody walking into a Carol Ann hole, and they wake up not in the closet, but they wake up in 1962.
Or let's talk about a woman named Tai Shippers. Okay?
Sounds good.
So Tai Shippers and her friend Bob were coming home late one night. This is up in the North Woods of Wisconsin, right around Hawthorne. Okay? So they had been at a bar where a friend of theirs' band was playing. They went to see them. And it's about 1 o'clock in the morning or so, 1:30, and they're driving home. But they have like a 2-hour drive ahead of them. So Thais driving, and about an hour into the drive, she's like, I gotta pee.
Oh, no, all this stuff starts with people having to pee. I'm surprised that never happened to me because I have to go like every 14 seconds.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, there's time. So Bob says, oh, why don't we just pull over on the side of the road? Because there was nothing. There's nothing. They're in like I said, the North Woods of Wisconsin. It's BFE. And he's like, let's just pull over and pee on the side of the road. But Tai uses a cane to walk. And she's like, absolutely not. I am not doing that.
Right.
And she's like, Bob was driving. She's like, just drive really fast. Let's just find something.
Okay. I was just drive really fast and roll down the window and see if I can just have it not
Just
splash
go
back.
out the window.
Go on.
So,
Anyway, but I'm with her. I don't want to stop in the middle of nowhere, get out of the car. Forget that.
and then
Right,
there's
and
me,
that's
bladder
when-
of steel. I'm like, I'll hold it until tomorrow morning. It's fine.
Right. I'll hold it until they invent a new method of going to the bathroom in the car.
Anyway, so they're driving down the road, and up ahead, they see bright red lights, and they're like, oh, there's something up here. They pull into the parking lot of the Roadhouse Saloon. Real business. Bright
Is Patrick
lights,
Swayze there?
bright lights ablazing. The windows are lit up. The open sign is on, like all of the neon signs for the different kinds of beer. And, you know, it's a bar and it's open. And so they're like, oh, good. So they go, they get out of the car and they go like running into the bar. And Tai says, go get us a couple of beers. I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Oh, great. You're going to have to go to the bathroom again in 5 minutes.
I know, I kept thinking about that.
Why don't you go get us a couple of beers? We're driving home.
Stop. Anyway,
Go on.
so they walk in and there's a handful of people in there and everybody turns and looks at them and like smiles really pleasantly when they come in, which she said was kind of out of the ordinary because people up in that area are not terribly friendly to strangers. Like they'll be friendly, but they're not like embracing. They're like, you are other. You know what I mean? So they go into the bar. Everybody smiles. She said it felt like they were being expected. Like the people in the bar expected them to show up. So Tai goes off to the bathroom, and she said she went into the bathroom and the light was off, which she thought was strange, but whatever. So she turned on the light, did her thing. She made sure to turn the light off when she left. And
Very courteous, very courteous.
Right. So she goes out to where Bob is, and he's got the beers. And oh yeah, I forgot. When they found the Roadhouse Saloon, Bob says, oh yeah, this is that place that everyone is talking about because there's this huge mural that just got painted inside by some artist who worked for Disney or something. It's like, it's a big fancy mural. All of the locals are talking about it. So this was like a place that he knew of, and he had been meaning to go there to see this mural. So he's really excited. He's like, we can check out the mural and have a drink. And
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Then I'll pick up a DUI on the way home. All that stuff.
stop. So they're sitting there having their drink. Oh, when Tai was coming out of the bathroom, this guy who seemed a little tipsy kind of like toddled up to her and he's like, do you want to dance? And she's like, I can't dance. I have a cane. And she's like, whew, dodged a bullet. So he just walks off over to the jukebox, which she notices is a beautiful, like, original Wurlitzer with the 45s in it. Like,
Wow.
not a digital jukebox, an
Legit.
original one. Yeah. And she's just like, it's just pristine. It's beautiful. And so she says no, and the guy just walks off. He goes over to the jukebox, and he puts a coin in, and Chubby Checkers, that song, Let's Twist Again, like we did last summer, that song comes on, and she's like, it's cool. So they're just drinking their beer, and they can see the mural across from them, and they decide to go over and look at it. So they get up, and they walk over, and they're looking at the mural, and she said, it's really weird. The lighting, the way the characters are lit, she said it looked like they were being lit from the ground up, like the light reflecting upward on them. The perspective was strange. The paint colors were really garish, and it's a strange mural. There's also pictures of it online, which again we will share to you. So they're standing there looking at the mural, and just thinking it looks odd. And Bob is looking at it, and he turns around and he looks behind them, and he looks back at the mural, and he looks back behind them again, and does it a couple times. And she's like, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Look at the two guys at the pool table." Because there's two guys who are just standing at the pool table. They're not playing. They're just kind of hanging out at the pool table. She turns around and looks at them and realizes that they look just like the two men sitting at the table in the mural that are gambling. There's like some old cowboys sitting at a table gambling in the mural. It's like a Wild West type mural. They're not exactly the same, but it looks like those two people standing at the pool table were used as the models for the men.
I think I know where this is going.
I think you don't. So, but they're dressed like cowboys. The guys standing at the pool table are not. When they came in, there were like three, she referred to them as like barfly women, who they all kind of looked up at them with these like big grins on their faces. So they're looking at those women and looking at the mural, and there's three women in the mural, and they are like their facial features and their body types and everything. They are those three women. The bartender, who was very like smiley and had this very welcoming presence to him when they came in, he is the bartender in the mural. The man who asked her to dance and put the money in the jukebox, he is the piano player in the mural. Every single person in the mural was represented by someone in the bar, and there was no one else in the bar except for the people who represented the people in the mural.
So are we supposed to believe that these people that are in the bar?
No. So
okay.
They think, oh, well, that's cool. These must be like regulars or friends of the bar owner or whatever. And they just wanted to like have their friends, be in this mural. They're not thinking it's like weird necessarily. So they go back to their table and they finish their beers. And while they're there, the man goes over to the jukebox again, puts another coin in, and starts the Chubby Checker song again. And she's like, okay, whatever, that's like this guy's favorite song. It's fine. And they're sitting there and they keep talking about
They didn't have any Tom Waits or Iggy Pop, so.
And oh yeah, coffee and cigarettes. Good job. So they're just talking about the mural and how strange it is. And Tai realizes nobody is talking. Nobody's really doing anything. Nobody's drinking. Except when the music comes on, when the Chubby Checker song comes on, everybody kind of gets up and looks like they're going to go dance. Maybe they just kind of like sway a little or whatever. But the music turns off and everybody just goes back to what they were doing. The men at the pool table are not playing pool. They're not even talking. So it's almost like they're in the middle of this weird tableau, right?
Yeah.
So they get up and they look at the mural a couple more times and they decide, okay, well, we're going to ask the bartender about this. So they go up to the bartender and Tai says, is that you in the mural? And she said he's kind of leaning forward on the bar, with his hands on the bar, and he's got this big grin on his face looking at her, and he just kind of like shrugs his shoulders and like he doesn't understand what she's saying, and he just keeps grinning and he doesn't say anything. And they asked one of the women, isn't that you in the mural? No response. Nobody would respond to them. So they start getting freaked out. They have another beer, and they decide to look at the mural one last time just to see if there's any other information that can help them kind of unravel this, because now it's a little mysterious. So they're looking at it, And they notice that the entrance to the bar has like those swinging, like the Old West swinging doors, you know?
Yeah.
And you can see
Saloon doors.
2 shadowy figures outside of the saloon, like they're getting ready to come in. They can tell it's a man and a woman.
And somebody with a cane.
And the woman has a cane.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Did I get it?
But they're just kind of gray. Like they're not fully painted or rendered or whatever. But she said, we knew that those figures weren't there before. And there they were. I could tell the woman was wearing a long skirt and I was wearing a long skirt, and I saw the cane. And she said it was at that moment that we have to get out of here, because if we don't, we may never get out of here. So they turn around and they book it across the dance floor to get out. Everybody turns and looks at them, and like,
They chase them. Did they chase them down?
one guy, I think it was the guy at the jukebox. So he played the song a third or fourth time.
Oh my
even.
God.
Yeah. So he starts like walking toward them.
No, get out.
Yeah. So they run out. And when they get outside, there are no cars in the parking lot where there had been. All of the lights are off. It's dark. The bar is very clearly closed. Not abandoned. It's a real bar. It's still open to this day.
Right.
But it's closed. It's dark. It's dark inside. It's dark outside. No cars. So they get in the car and they just peel off down the road.
People need to stop peeling off and peeling out of this. That's offensive. Anyway, just go on.
So they get home, and it's late. Like it's like 4:00 in the morning or something when they get home, and so they just go to bed or whatever they do. And the next morning, Tai is telling her sisters about what happened, and they were all like interested, kind of not believing, but also kind of believing, interested enough to be like, let's go there and check it out. So this is where it gets weird. I know you thought it was already weird.
That's pretty weird already.
This is where it gets weird. So a week later, they make the trek out to the Roadhouse Saloon. And when they get there, it's lit up. All the signs are on the open sign, the neon, everything. There's cars in the parking lot. They go inside. The place is bopping. There's people everywhere. There's people eating, drinking, chatting. Like it's a lively bar. And it was like 8-9 o'clock at night, she said. So it was earlier. And they go to the bar, and there's a woman working behind the bar. And Tai says, where's the other bartender? And the woman kind of looks at her confused, and she says, what other bartender? And she's like, well, we were here last Saturday, and there was a young man here, and he was very friendly, and he was working the bar.
He was very friendly, but he wouldn't answer our questions.
But he didn't answer our questions, I know. But
he wouldn't speak to us.
But he smiled a lot, apparently. Yeah. And the woman says, my father owns this bar, and he and I are the only ones who tend bar here. We both worked last Saturday. And because Tai says we were here, it was probably about 3 o'clock in the morning. And she says, we closed at midnight. And so they were just all kind of weirded out. And, she said the jukebox was no longer the old Wurlitzer. It was like a digital one. And she looked, and there was no Chubby Checker on it.
Oh, poor Chubby.
I know.
They don't have any of his music here either.
But they looked around, and they didn't see any of the people that they recognized from the previous time that they were there. The mural is obviously still there and the same, except there are no shadowy figures at the saloon doors anymore.
Okay, that is something straight out of the mind of Rod Serling or Richard Matheson.
Oh yeah, that feels a little more Richard Matheson.
And spacing on all the other writers. Buck Houghton? Houghton? Oh God. Anyway.
Oh, like
they weren't the only
Ambrose Bierce or.
Well, I was talking about Twilight Zone writers.
Oh.
But it does sound like something straight out of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of the mannequins. When the woman goes into the department store and the mannequins come to life, and she realizes that she is a mannequin herself, who was let out to live a week in the real world, and now she has to come back. Or, hear me out. They could have been painting the mural there that night and using all these people as models.
Except there were no artists there.
But the artist could have gone. It was 3:00 in the morning.
The mural had already been painted.
You know artists. You're an artist.
Bob already knew that this mural had been painted. All of the locals were talking about it, and he had already been wanting to see it. It was not in production.
Huh. So then what's the answer? That these were the...
I mean, who knows?
These were the people that were in the mural come to life.
So Mo in chat said it's like a multiverse crossover, and that could absolutely be true. So I don't know, but
that's crazy.
But it is. It's a really creepy story. I like that one. But you can go to the Roadhouse Saloon, and you can see the mural, and it's big. It's like 17 feet long, floor to ceiling.
Do they have any information as to when that was painted?
Let me see.
I'd be curious to know. I don't know. I mean, if it's something that was painted in the 1980s or 90s or something like that, it might give us some clue as to what may have happened that night when the urge to pee drove somebody out of this dimension and into another. I don't know. Possible.
Let's see.
I mean, I've experienced some trippy things in my life, but nothing quite that trippy before.
I know.
But, I can always stretch for time by telling a joke.
Okay, go ahead. Make it a good one, though, or I'll beat you.
I don't have any good jokes.
I know.
Do you have any good jokes?
I do. So there were 2 sausages laying in a frying pan frying. And the first sausage yells, "Help, I'm burning." And the second sausage yells, "Help, I'm laying next to a talking sausage." The murals highlighting local history, part of the company's vision since its founding in... Oh, no, this is stupid. That's Texas Roadhouse. Come on. I don't know. I can't find it.
Was Patrick Swayze?
There was no Patrick Swayze.
But was he in the mural? Because that would explain everything.
Mo says either that or the beer was spiked with some hallucinogen. Okay, but boom. How did they get the beer in them before they even pulled in the parking lot? It was 3:00 in the morning, and the bar closed at midnight.
Maybe their watch had stopped, and it was not at 3:00 p.m. and it was actually midnight.
And it was pitch black at 3:00 p.m. when the next Saturday in the summer they went, and it was still daylight at 8, 9 o'clock at night.
No, I'm saying they looked at their watch and said, "Oh my, it's 3:00. We better pull over now, or I'm going to pee all over the car."
Wow.
And then, I don't mean to be graphic or anything, but it could happen. And
you know what? What was it you were telling me? Was it today or yesterday? When you strip away everything else, like the obvious answer is the answer. And the obvious answer, without like jumping through all kinds of weird hoops, is that they experienced something weird AF.
Yeah, that's always. I guess that could be the answer. I mean, I think that it's more likely that that they came. Maybe they're having a private party at 3:00 in the morning and they weren't supposed to be there. Like the owners of the bar, the bartender, they had gone home at 12, but some of the locals had like decided to stick around and say, "Hey, let's break into the bar and raid the bar." And then strangers come in at 3:00 in the morning. And they're like, "Oh, just act natural. Just smile
when those strangers bounce, they very quickly, immediately shut off every single light and somehow make their cars in the parking lot disappear.
Well, I mean, they could say, hey, Harry, go out there and move all the cars. We're going to get in such trouble. They're going to call the cops, turn off the lights, and then let's hope they leave. I don't know,
I think your explanations are weirder than the actual weird thing that happened.
I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or not.
I don't think so. So anyway, yeah, those are the two stories that I had to share. And I hope you enjoyed. I love those stories. I think they're both amazing. And they are worth a deep dive. So I will put all kinds of links for you to do so.
Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, the links will be in the show notes shortly. And if you are listening to this in podcast land, those links will be in the podcast description. Mm-hmm. And, those are two wonderful stories.
Thank you.
And I know that I could sit here all night and talk about all the different possibilities of what really happened to these people.
Yeah.
I don't think that my interpretations would really do them justice.
No. And the music is coming down the hall.
Oh.
And we forgot to feed the ghosts last Saturday.
Oh.
Whoops. So
tonight's the night.
Yeah. And it's
I
your
may
turn.
lose another finger. So
he's definitely going to lose another finger.
Well, and we thank you for listening or watching also the Castle of Spirits True Ghost Stories podcast. My name is Vince. I've been your ghost keeper.
And my name is still Jane, and they know our names.
Oh, yes. And she's also the ghost keeper.
Mm-hmm. But, send us your stories, castleofspirits.com, and tell us what you got. We really want any story at this point.
True stories only, please.
Yes. No AI, no made-up stuff. Give us some true spooky stuff. And, if you like this podcast, you could maybe do us a favor and tell a friend.
And if you hate this podcast, well, why don't you go ahead and tell 2 enemies? Because if you hate this podcast, you've clearly got enemies.
Right? Wait, I love this podcast, and I know I have enemies.
Well, I mean,
I guess I'll go tell them about the podcast. But will they listen? If I'm their enemy, will they listen?
I don't know. Maybe try something new. Try it out. Just give it a shot. It can't hurt.
All right, we'll see.